Good morning. I am Rachel. I'm an alcoholic and stroke survivor. No, let's try that again. Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. There we go. I would typically press pause and record that again, but I don't feel like it. So here we go. Today's topic is about skepticism. Um, and as I was sharing in my morning meeting this morning, like the reading, the daily reflection said something about skepticism. It said something about living in the moment, caring about where we're going, making something beautiful out of our lives. And what I was thinking about just right off the bat, I mean, it flew me right into this topic about how skeptical I am about freaking everything. I guess it's one of my character defects. Our reading was talking about molding, like our life is like clay, like we mold the clay of our lives into something beautiful. But what I was thinking of really was that I'm not molding it. It depends on, it's a play on words. So I can look at it as I am molding the clay of my life and I am making it into something beautiful. But the way that I like to look at it when I was introduced to this concept this morning was that now that I have an understanding of my higher power and that continues to evolve, I would like to think of it as God is molding the clay of my life, and all I am doing is showing up for myself. And that doesn't diminish my role. My role is the most important role. Like it doesn't matter what my life is being molded into because if I don't show up for it, um, I'm not going to make it into something beautiful. Um, when I was drinking, my life had been molded into something that could be completely beautiful. And by not showing up for myself and not being present enough to see the possibilities, not being present enough to see opportunities. Instead, I was looking at them, these possibilities in front of me. I was skeptical. Everything, I was leery about everything. Um, if somebody said to me, um, you know what? If you, well, this happened to me. So why don't we say that? My brother called me up early. So this was when I first met who's my husband now. So when I first met him, we worked together, and then at at one point we were still just in our first year of dating, I think. And my brother called me and he's like, if you quit your job, I'll hire you, you can work from home. I'm going to pay you the same amount of money that your work pays you. Um, I didn't look at it as I've just been given this magical gift because that's what it was. It was a gift, but I didn't see it that way at first. At first, I was very skeptical that that this was real, that this could really happen for me. It's like I don't even, people open the door for me and I don't walk through because I'm afraid what's on the other side. And what I'm learning in sobriety is to trust that I have the tools that I need in order to handle whatever's on the inside of that, on the other side of that door. And when I was drinking, I was just like, felt like any door that I walk through, there's like a monster waiting on the other side. Um, I was just thinking of Monsters Inc. But that skepticism continues to be a character defect of mine. It's because I'm afraid, I'm fearful that of being disappointed. I'm fearful that if I get too excited about something, it's not going to happen. And I think that comes from experiences that is learned. That's not something that I felt as a little girl. That little girl that I always talk about, she used to get excited about things. And the more that she was disappointed, I think disappointed in other people, disappointed that she was the one who had to care the most about her, you know? Aside from my family, my mom, aside from my mom, I felt as I was getting older that nobody's going to care as much about me as me and my mom. That's really what life introduced me to. And so I became skeptical of anybody's contributions to giving me a more joyful life. Um, I got married and I remember thinking I was doing the laundry. This was like the day after we got married or something. We didn't immediately go on. Oh, yeah, we did. I was gonna say we didn't immediately go on a honeymoon, but we did. Um, the honeymoon was Ocean City, by the way. But when we got back, I remember early on, like the first week, I remember doing the laundry and thinking, I'm gonna be the best wife ever. I'm gonna do everything I possibly can to take care of my husband and be this perfect wife. Well, I was let down. I was, however that may be, I was let down. Things didn't end up being the way that I wanted. I can give as much as I possibly have in me, but if I'm setting my expectations in such a way that the other person is going to be perfect and they're going to be give me everything possible, I created an unrealistic view of what marriage was going to be like. Um, I don't blame today, years and years later, I'm not blaming anybody for that. But I do see this unrealistic view that I created. It was like a fairy tale. And I was setting myself up for being disappointed. I just was. And it's it's not like I didn't really have any role models for marriage to be exposed to what marriage was like. Like all of my friends, their parents were married, but I wasn't around long enough to see their day-to-day interactions. I was like in and out for playtime, I wasn't hanging out with their parents. So I just envisioned if people were together and they got married, that it was a fairy tale. And that's not what it was like for me. Um, I said yesterday, like I had a very warped view, a very warped mind. I had an unrealistic view of so much. And when I was let down or disappointed in these fairy tale dreams, what came out of the other side was skepticism. And that skepticism became something that was really obstacles I was putting in front of myself, in front of my own path. I was inhibiting myself from even opening the door, much less looking inside to see what's in there. Um, so when I look today at like this idea of God molding my life into opportunities and all I have to do is show up, that's work. Showing up is a big deal. Somebody mentioned this morning the work is in the pursuit, right? The work is in the pursuit of what God puts in front of us, is in the pursuit of the possibilities, is just simply the ability to see. That takes a lot of freaking work. Every day I wake up and this morning was a perfect example. This morning I opened my eyes. I had to pee. So usually I have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, but I woke up with a need to, but I was like, I'm just gonna sleep through it. So I ended up waking up and I thought it was still the middle of the night, and I'm like, I can't wait anymore. So I got up and I went potty. I can't say that word very loud or else the dogs are gonna go crazy and think it's time to go outside. But I went to the bathroom and I got back in bed and I touched my phone to see what time it was. And it said it was 6:43. And I was like, I have a big frown on my face. Like it's over, you know? My escape from reality is over. I have to get up in 2 minutes. So I laid there, I shut my eyes, and I could feel my body just completely tense. It's weird, I know. What do you have to be tense about, Rachel? Well, I have a day ahead of me of feeling dizzy and uncomfortable, and my head hurts, and that I have to do the inner battle every day. Like, and that's the work, like showing up. When I looked at the clock and I saw it was 6:43, I thought I have 2 minutes before I have to show up. And that's what it is. I have to show up. I may not have a job right now, as far as a career that I went to school for, but I have a job that is centered around my well-being. And yesterday, I did an amazing job. Okay. I did do an hour of yoga. I feel like I'm losing my voice. Sorry. But I did the hour of yoga. And I also walked a mile with my dear Autumn, the Weimaraner. So it was a lot. Both of these things were a lot. But I thought when I got tired in the afternoon, I thought, you know what? I'm going to get on the mat. I don't have to open my eyes on the mat. Just get on the mat. Put on some meditative classical music. I did that. I lit a candle. I unrolled the mat, and I got in child's pose for those of you who are familiar with yoga, and I just started moving. And that takes work. These little things take work. Um, and that's what it looks like for me to show up for myself and engage with what God has molded for me. So in order to counteract skepticism, I need to be willing. I need to be open. I need to remove the obstacles in front of me. And the only way that I can do that is to turn off my wanter. Like it always comes back to my wanter. And I always thought that what I want is the only thing that's going to make me happy. And that's just not true. Um, Sometimes what I want is laid out in front of me by my higher power. And if I show up, I get to receive it. I receive the gift of what I didn't know I wanted, you know? So that's what I'm going to think about today. I'm going to think about how, um, just being present is work. Being open and willing is work. And that very much counteracts that skepticism that life is going to give me anything better than what I could plan. But it does. It keeps doing that for me. It keeps um, providing gifts on a daily basis, but I have to show up for myself for a daily basis. And that does for the on a daily basis, but that doesn't mean that I can't frown when I see I have 2 minutes left before I have to get up and show up for myself. The point is when my alarm goes off at 6:45, 2 minutes later, that I put my feet on the ground and I just do it anyway. And that's what I keep doing. And it's working for me. And that's why I like to share it with you all in hopes that it'll help another person who might be battling with similar feelings and might be putting obstacles in front of themselves that they're having a hard time taking down. So that's what I have today. Thanks so much for showing up for me and for yourself, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.